We are back for a new season of Black Lightning here on Super Tuesday Recap. I'm your host, Shanna. I'm here with the doctor.
Hey.
Parrish.
What's up?
And Dee. And we are going to talk about Season 2, Episode 1. I don't remember that long title, except for something about the greenlight babies.
Yeah, it's the Book of Consequences. I think it's the rise of the greenlight babies.
Yeah.
Rise of the Green. Chapter 1, Rise of the Green Babies, yeah.
So
that is right on the phone.
Before we get into your first impressions of this new season, I'm just going to start by saying these titles are too damn long. I'm not going to remember them. We're going to be doing this all season. Because no, I'm sorry. A colon, a chapter, verse, and book, I don't have time for it. I'm sorry, Salim. I get
returns.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's too much. It really is.
Like, we can't do this. What I will say about the new title credits, I enjoyed that they put like the little comic book graphic behind it and kind of gave it that like comic book feel. That was really nice. But other than that, really? No, we're not doing this.
Really, I kind of thought that the graphic was a little cheesy.
Cheesy, but I like it. It's like you're giving it a vibe of like, this is a comic book show. Do you watch iZombie?
No.
So in iZombie, the way every episode starts is they do the theme song, and the theme song is like comic book panels telling like the story of how she got turned into a zombie. And then whenever they do like scene changes and it says like a different location, it's like a comic book panel. So okay. I like that. It is cheesy, but I like it. So I forgive it. But
okay. Yeah.
So I'm going to start with you, Doctor. What did you think of our season 2 opener?
I liked it. You know how we talked about the ending last season, kind of felt like they didn't know if they were getting a new season. Mm-hmm. But I feel like, now that they know, they really kind of picked up before that kind of ending coda that they did, mm-hmm. which was the fallout of everything that happened with finding the pods and all that good stuff. But I really enjoyed it. I'm loving seeing Robert Townsend back on screen. Bill Duke, he's back, and I love it. Oh, if he could curse, it would be just glorious. Because you could tell he wanted to. He's like, nope, I'm on network TV. Can't do it.
What about you?
No, I did enjoy it.
Go ahead.
Okay, so this was an I thought this was a really good episode. The fight scenes were an unexpected bonus. I am sort of waiting to see how the rest of the season turns out, because if I remember correctly, last season we thought that it started off really strong and then just got kind of weak. To be kind, but yes, I thought it was a very good episode, and I kept waiting for Bill Duke to say, "Now you done fucked up. You know that, right?" So I kept waiting for him to say that, but I don't know. Cyanide puts on some really good fight scenes, because she had one with Thunder last year, which I thought was pretty good, but. I thought that was pretty good. It seems that they got their music budget back up.
So, Parrish, tell us how you felt about this episode.
Yeah, I liked it. A lot of the reasons that have already been stated, apply to me. I like that they went back and kind of covered some things that we talked about. They kind of left open at the end of the season. And then, you look at the lineup. Bill Duke, Robert Townsend, Angela Rye, Benjamin Crump. They were trying to overload the blackness on the first episode. So I don't know, this is going to be one of those seasons. It was very, very black.
Yes. Same. Felt the same. I think that was kind of not, I loved it, but I was also kind of like, is the show going away? Like why is everything stacked in the first episode? It was really good. And I didn't know that Robert Townsend was going to be on there at all, which was a beautiful surprise. Because usually I feel like with Black Lightning, you do tend to get announcements of the guest stars. So I was surprised to see him and not have that announced beforehand. Bill Duke was also great to see. He looked really thin. I don't know.
Okay. I noticed that too. I went online to see if there was anything about Bill Duke and health problems, and I didn't find anything. Okay. So
I'm glad somebody looked it up, because I definitely thought it.
It's probably by a side function of aging. As you get older and your doctor tells you can't do certain things or eat certain things, your body shifts. So he's in his 70s. So I mean, chicken.
Which I didn't know that either. But I was definitely like, oh, Bill Duke looks like, because I obviously recognized him, but I was like, oh, he looks very, very thin. So good episode. Here's the thing. As much as I love the action scenes and I like the action is not my favorite thing. So I don't need long action scenes. And I still think that, unfortunately, I hate to say this because I really love the actress, but I just don't think Nafessa does a good job.
She doesn't.
With the action scenes. And I don't see it improving. Like, if it was better from last season, I would get excited. But it doesn't seem to be improving. And I'm kind of just like, put a stunt double in. Just
like, it's not Finn Jones season 1 Iron Fist bad, but it's not good.
But it's also...
Look, on the weekend of the cancellation of Iron Fist, we will not do this, okay? I am in mourning.
I am too. That hurt, but that's not over here. But yes, that hurt.
It shows up on Disney streaming.
Hopefully, or they change it into something. I'm hoping it becomes like a Daughters of the Dragon or a Heroes for Hire or something like that. But yes,
it wasn't Iron Fist season 1, but I mean, clearly they were trying to do a Daredevil with that action scene where got the money, and that wasn't it.
Look, I need them to tap the folks who did Daisy's one take scene from, what was it, season 3 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They need to tap those folks, because they know what they doing.
That was the one. I know what you're seeing.
That one tracking shot where she basically John Wick that base.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, did you like the fight scene between Foudy and Cyanide, though?
I liked it, but what's the word?
Or at least better than you liked the one for
Thunder?
Anissa.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But
okay.
I think that's another one. And maybe this is, look, here's me. I'm like, maybe this is a larger structural issue in the industry. Because what I'm realizing is, like, maybe there aren't a lot of Black women stunt doubles. And so these women are doing these scenes, and they're actresses. They're not stunt people. So I'm looking at it like, I feel like it was a good scene. It was definitely better than the other one, but probably could have used a good stunt double in it, you know? Like, I like the ending of the scene, obviously, with the heel in the throat.
And while I'm looking at the scene, like, look, I'm watching too many other good action-based stories right now, so this action is like womp womp to me.
But
that's kind of
You know how Black Twitter is, so let us find out that the stunt woman was like a olive skinned white woman in a wig. People would lose their shit.
Oh, well, I would forgive the stunt. Well, I would forgive it because I was like, oh, see, this wasn't us. Okay. We didn't make this look bad.
See, I knew it wasn't a stunt double in that scene with Tobias where she jumps out the window. The way she like ran like to the side, tipped to the side before she jumped out of that window, all sad. I was like,
wait, pulled a Theon. He jumped off that ship. He gave us.
Oh my God. It looked like something out of Looney Tunes. It was like teeter to the left, teeter to the right, run through the window. It's like a mess. But I'm glad they gave her more to do. And I liked her scene with Gamby.
Yeah.
I really liked that where she called him out, but then also was like, yeah, I didn't realize the extent of the people that I was working, like what they would do and what lengths they would go to. And now I want to get out. like, how did you do this? So
now, was it just me because for a minute I thought she was still in and was just playing them?
No, I think she's legit trying to get out.
I
I
never questioned that. I thought, she was trying to get out of Dodge.
Okay.
Which I would get the fuck out of Dodge. So speaking of getting out of Dodge, let's talk about Jefferson. He tried to tell them that he was on vacation, and that's why he missed all the shenanigans going down at the school.
But can we talk about it? Because that white woman was getting on my goddamn nerves. Like, okay, wait, because she was just like, I mean, it's not a halfway house. It's not a juvenile detention. And he's not on call. He gets to go on vacation and maybe be out of touch. Mm-hmm. And for them to hold that against him, that just felt far-fetched.
Oh, no, it felt very much like a white woman. So it feel far-fetched. My issue with it was the fact that I was like, right before he left, y'all were kind of trying to fire him anyway. There were multiple points where you were trying to fire him, but now it's like, why weren't you here when the school needed you?
When I was there when the school needed me, you told me to take some time off.
Yeah. I was like, you can't see my face. Sometimes I do wish this was a recorded, like a video podcast. Because I'm like, right now my face is like, white lady. Yeah, I did not like her.
It's that standard setup. Damned if you do, fired if you don't. Yeah,
I did not appreciate
the rationale. I agree with you guys. It didn't make a whole lot of sense, but I mean, I didn't want to talk out of my, realm of expertise and kind of, yeah.
But he tries to use that weak excuse. They aren't buying it. He's dealing with them wanting to fire him. He's also dealing with the aftermath of these greenlight babies, which they kind of try to set it up like crack babies. Mm-hmm. But I was like,
it fell flat.
It fell a little flat because the difference is like crack babies are, and I'm sorry, I feel like I should not say that anymore in 2018, but crack babies are the children of people who took drugs and had adverse side effects because of it, supposedly. Right. I also feel like that was very overinflated. The greenlight babies, quote unquote, are just kids who decided to take greenlight. Yeah. So it's kind of like, I don't know. It's not a one-to-one analogy.
Plus you have the...
Yeah, but when these kind of analogies get made, it's not like people are really going for accuracy here. Sure. So I kind of let it go.
Yeah.
I think, but I get where you're coming from, Shannon, with your just malcontent with that, because I think you have that coupled with the overlay of the police brutality, which it's like, we've had shady police here, yes, but this just felt, I won't lie, it felt forced in to me. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It felt like, message again, here we come with the message, you gotta hear it. It's like, but we've seen dirty cops on this show. Have we seen like just flat out modern day American police brutality and not cartoon levels of dirty policing? Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing too, is like if we're talking about like the analogy of like crack babies to greenlight babies, like basically what you have is a bunch of kids who got addicted to drugs and the drugs gave them powers. And so the cops are using excessive force. I think it would be different if we're talking about the kids that are in the tubes
Yeah.
Because those kids were taken and experimented on, some of them. Like, some of them were kids who chose to take green light, but some of them were kids who, you know, exhibited powers or were given those vaccines, because some of them are from the past too. They're not just recent. So it's like, those are like unwitting victims who have powers and have been experimented on, which really, they just need to be released from the pods. Like, the fact that Christine's whole goal was to get in there and like study them, I'm like, give them babies back to their families. What are we doing? What is happening?
Except the one who said, I didn't want you. I really wanted you dead.
Yeah.
Like, whoa.
Yeah, that too. So that's the thing. It's like, I kind of understand, although she was like dead wrong in that moment, but I kind of understood her too, because it's like, he chose to take drugs, right? Mm-hmm. The police killed him. That was wrong. They used excessive force. But also, in him being quote unquote dead, you know, you get to grieve him, you get to mourn him, you get to fight for justice for his slaying. But him being alive, it's like, you're a kid who took drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I guess my take on that scene was kind of, I guess, maybe different, because I thought those were thoughts that she had, but wouldn't have actually said out loud.
Oh, yeah.
And I was kind of thinking maybe it was her son's power having some effect over her.
It was.
Okay.
No, the point is, like, damn.
Yeah.
Even if that was drawn out involuntarily, it's still like, damn, that's what my mom thinks about me.
Mm-hmm. But then I also understood why she would think that. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, this is very off tangent. Triple X tension dude, right? He was not a good guy, right? Mm-hmm. But in his death, people get to mourn him, and they get to mourn him however they want, including his mother, right? It's different if he comes back to life, and now you have to deal with all the stuff that he did in his life that was fucked up. But it's really easy to be, you know, to fight for him and love him and accept awards in his honor, because he's dead now.
And deify. You're basically deifying him, yeah.
So, like, I get, even if the mom, like, would never say that out loud to her son, probably she does have those thoughts of, like, it's easier if you're just dead.
Yeah.
And I don't have to deal with your actions.
Yeah.
I just think it's another instance of the show being too clever by half. And I think not only is it they're trying to make a parallel between the crack babies and green light, it's also kind of a play on the X-Men sort of thing. And it doesn't really work, you know, because, and I hate to say this because it almost kind of touches a certain respectability, but I think there's a difference, as you said, there's a difference between, say, the X gene, where the mutants have absolutely no control over the fact that they have this gene and it manifests, and people who have manifest these powers as a result of drug use. Mm-hmm. I think that there's a certain difference there, with regards to how the story plays out.
Yeah. And I just, like you said, it's the being too clever by half. This was the premiere, and to tease out all that nuance in a premiere where you're also like packing in, you know, 3 or 4 guest stars and, you know, setting up a whole season of story. It might have been a little bit too much to introduce it all at once.
It's almost like they're afraid they're not going to get renewed or be allowed to finish the season. And I'm like, Supernatural's on season 14. I think you'll be fine.
Whose fault is it that Supernatural is on season 14? Riddle me that. Yes, Steve. Sorry.
How many episodes are there this season? Is it still 13 as it was last season?
I think it was didn't it? Or is it still 13?
I think it went up. Hold on a second. But I don't think it went up by much. I hope that it's still short. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I wonder if it was like its Legends numbers, like 16, but I could be wrong.
Oh no, right now it's just 13 on IMDb. So
okay, that's perfect. Let's leave it there.
Okay.
And that's not me being mean, but yeah, too many shows. The CW superhero shows, we have learned that some of them don't know what to do with all those extra episodes. So I'm not trying to have this show fall into that trap.
Keep it high and tight. Sorry, I just saw the name of episode 2. There are 2 colons. There should never be 2 colons in your episode title. That is ridiculous.
Isn't that grammatically incorrect though? I mean,
Also that.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I didn't want to be that guy, but yeah, you are wrong.
Yes. So Christine. So Christine is over here basically trying to grapple with the fact that everyone in her family has powers except for her. And then on top of it, her access to the greenlight studies that she's been doing have been cut off because of her relationship to Black Lightning. Because I love how also bad liar. She's like, oh yes, someone happened to tell me where all the pods are with the kids that were taken. I do not know where that information came from.
And she kept looking at the camera.
See now, you know you done fucked up, right? You know he wanted to say it right there. He did.
But that monologue was the greatest, though. It was the greatest. I deal with enough cow manure.
Like, I want to be home in bed.
Harder. I was like, yo, Bill Duke is going off.
He has the best, most just straightforward. He has that like Lana Del Rey, I won't not fuck you the fuck up. like voice constantly.
His
like,
facial expression.
You know when he orders like a hamburger, it sounds like that.
Can you imagine messing up his order?
Oh my God. He's like, now, when we first spoke, I told you I wanted cheese, but no onions. Look at that sandwich. Are there onions on it? Like,
no affect at all.
oh my God. Oh my God. I love it. But yeah, so she's upset about that. And then her daughter, Jennifer, is continuing to exhibit just constantly growing powers. And Christine is just so far out of her depth. It's a shame. I feel bad for her, to be quite honest. We were just talking about this on The Gifted. It's the same thing like The Gifted. Kate is the only one without powers. Both of her kids have them, and now her husband has them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what do? You're the only one.
And then there's that whole thing where she was trying to get through to her youngest daughter, and it always kind of caused the question to me, like, I understand that parents, you instill this respect for in your kids, but how do you discipline a kid that's got superpowers?
I don't know. I mean, I don't have children. Also, I
ask the kids.
like I try.
I don't know.
I try not to discipline other people's children if I can help it.
Ask the kids. That's all I got.
It's just a thought for me. Just a thought.
And then Jennifer, who I constantly empathize with, she doesn't want this. She does not. She doesn't even have like a fun power like flying or running really fast. Like,
to be fair, do we really know what her powers are at this point?
She don't know what her powers are. That's crazy.
I thought they had established last season she, like, Black Lightning draws electricity. Jennifer generates it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the living battery, basically.
Yeah. So, but like it creates all these weird side effects because like for her, it's like she can 1 second she can burn things or, you know, electrocute people. And then the next second she's floating.
It seems like she's got to dispel it. She's got to get it out. If she's not using it, then it's building. This is just a guess. I don't know. But I'm wondering if because she's not using it, it's building up in her, which is why she's been floating and glowing. Mm. Because when Jefferson grabbed her, he drew it off of her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So,
and then also, isn't his power similar to that too? Like,
and so even though she doesn't want this ability or to use it, it looks like she's gonna have to in order to keep herself and everybody else around her safe. Like she didn't mean that, you know, was she being disrespectful to her mom? She wasn't trying to kill her mama. That was a complete accident.
Yeah, no, but the generation of the electricity. Here's the thing. It seems like Jefferson has to use his powers as well because he talks about like, or we've seen before him being like almost hurt, like when the electricity goes through him and it doesn't have an outlet. So I'm wondering how often does she have to do it? Is it heightened right now because she doesn't know how to control it or because she herself is unstable? This whole idea of the therapist will be really interesting because that, for those who don't know, that's the role that Erica Alexander is going to play, is the therapist. So it should be really interesting. I'm hoping it's a recurring role and not just a one episode thing because clearly Jennifer needs a lot of therapy. Really, the whole family needs to sit in on some.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I hope it's not like a one episode thing, like when Barry and Iris went to like their therapist for like a hot episode, which was great and hilarious. But this family needs like some like real deal counseling. So.
Yeah, what I was the thing that I was thinking about was, I mean, the setup actually. I'm looking forward to the interplay between those two characters because, I mean, it just kind of reminds me of the most recent run of the Ultimates where, you know, you have three characters that had energy-based powers in the way that they were able to use them together and draw from one another. So if that's where they're going with that, I'm super excited to see it.
Well, it should be interesting in a fight. Like if she generates electricity and then Jefferson is able to like siphon it and use it. That will be really interesting in a fight.
Yeah.
Right. That's basically Monica Rambeau and Carol Danvers in a fight together.
Yeah. Which I would love to see because then we also don't have to see them try and punch people. So. Like, let's use the CGI where we can, people.
It's so shady.
I do what I can. So we kind of talked about Jennifer a little bit. Can I say I don't like her little friend? I just don't.
Not at all.
She's prejudiced.
She's prejudiced. I'm going to say it and it's going to be wrong. And, you know, whatever, you know, write to me on Twitter. She's fast and I don't like it.
Ooh.
So I don't care. I don't care.
The views of Shannon do not represent the views of the NTR.
You can at me.
Direct all inquiries to Shannon.
You can definitely at me.
Yeah, I mean,
I just don't like her attitude.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The Twitter streets are hot right now.
Get all the way down.
Well, look, if I'm about to be canceled, like everyone else who has been canceled this year, I'll see y'all all on Thursday because that's about how long a canceling lasts nowadays.
I actually said this on Twitter. I need somebody to cancel me because I got student loans I need to pay, and it seems like canceling really gets you paid.
Yes. Okay. I need y'all to cancel me, and then I need someone else to go start a GoFundMe. Because because apparently.
Well, cancel me. Let somebody offer me a job because I got canceled.
Exactly. Oh my God. Okay. Again, off topic. But homegirl who wrote that tweet about Chuck Wendig getting fired, talking about Marvel and Disney. If you want to hire a writer who doesn't get into stuff on social media, I'm right here.
Wait, what happened?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. What? I'm confused.
So Chuck Wendig was writing a Star Wars comic and had included like some LGBT characters and stuff like that. And, you know, the usual comic skaters came after him. And recently Marvel let him go. And, you know, he was one of the writers standing up for that and standing up for himself. And I don't know if it was directly related to that, but he tweeted about it. And then this woman was like, hey, Marvel, Disney, if you're looking for a writer without any controversy, I'm right here. So
that's gross.
It was really gross.
And her name escapes me. Blake Northcutt. I've got a few thoughts about that. I don't know if we want to cover it on the show, but
I mean, my favorite thing is how you were like, I can't, her name escapes me right now. Oh yeah, it's Blake Northcutt. I saw a lot of people doing that. I saw a lot of people like trying like hard to not call her out and to like give her the benefit of the doubt. And then I saw people just giving it up and being like, you know what she did was really fucked up. So, you know.
No, I'm not. Because if I recall correctly, because I actually follow her. I follow a lot of people that I don't necessarily agree with just because I want to see what they're talking about. In my understanding, I believe she's the one that does a lot of writing for Millar World, which should tell you everything on the planet. Just me personally, I can't stand Mark Millar. And a lot of it comes from I don't like his politics and I don't like how his politics manifests in his comic book writing. Mark Millar was he's a comic book writer. He was the one that wrote the original Civil War.
Oh, I hated that. Yeah, no.
And he wrote Old Man Logan, which is also trash because of the inbred hillbilly Hulks that he wrote Kick-Ass, he wrote Kingsman. He has a habit of,
he's just like white boying it up.
Yeah, he has a habit of using rape as a plot device because they actually toned down Kick-Ass 2 from what actually happened in the comic. He's just a problem. And you know, it's the whole thing about the people you keep in your company. It didn't surprise me that she said it. But like I said, when I retweeted, like, this ain't it. You know, this is not how you approach this situation.
Or the thing that I thought was really interesting then when she kind of like tried to apologize but didn't really apologize was that she tried to blame it on her being like Canadian, and she was like, you know, I don't usually get into a lot of I just meant that on my Twitter I don't usually get into a lot of political stuff, like, you know, maybe it's because I'm Canadian and we're just more polite. And there was a great like tweet thread from somebody who was like, children are being ripped from their parents' arms, people's rights are being like taken away. The fact that you think it's cool to say that you're not into politics actually makes you a really horrible person. So I really like that part of it. Is like, I was like, girl, you don't. I'm like, first of all, don't do Canada like that. Canada deserves better. So
us Canadians speak up too. Don't pretend like Canadians just sitting up there like, oh gosh, everything's great up here, so we're not worried about anything else anywhere else. That is bullshit.
You forgot to say a boot. We're not worried about anything.
Yeah, I mean, with regards to Chuck, and I know we want to get back to the show. I got some thoughts about that because Wendig has not been a perfect angel in the past. And he's had some interactions with Black women in particular that have been a little distasteful to me. I'm not the biggest fan of his writing, but that's just a personal taste thing. I'll just say that there might be something different. There might be something else involved in that. I don't know that it is entirely the result of his interactions with Comicsgate that resulted in this.
It felt like some parts of this. I mean, I was shocked to see it happen, but it felt like some parts of the story was missing in his
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Now that having said that, and I said this on Twitter, this is a bad look for Marvel, and I'm not going to defend them publicly. Because this is writer number 2 that has been subject to harassment that they've gotten rid of.
Yeah.
You know, it was it started with Chelsea Kane and now Mark Millar. And you know, you could have fired him for perfectly valid reasons, but this is called getting in your own way, because the optics do not look good.
Yeah. Speaking of Chelsea Kane, she's another one that I saw when I was at Rose City Comic Con, and she was on this panel, and she literally was like, "The industry is fucked up. Like, I honestly don't know how anything gets done." And I was like, I love her.
Wow, that's wrong.
She had the best comic book that year. I think, what was it, 2016, 2017? Mockingbird was the best comic book. Like, aside from the normal ones, like Saga and Jason Aaron's Thor, and like, in terms of like new, not big name comic books, her Mockingbird run was really, really good.
Really good. And if you're reading her new comic, just started, Man Eaters, is great. It's so good. I love it. And she's not a comic book writer. She comes from writing prose.
Which is what Marvel tends to. People have been vocal about this without realizing that this is kind of how Marvel does business. They tend to go for literary writers. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's always been their thing.
Yeah. So yeah, it's not a good look for them, but
nope.
But also, the industry is fucked up. I don't know how anything gets done, and it all does seem to happen very like cloak and dagger, pun intended, underneath the table. So
yeah, and again, I mean, like I said, I'm not going to take that bullet for Marvel. I think that there's something else involved there. The other issue I have is that, again, there's a lot of stuff where you invite being attacked. DC does a lot of the same things Marvel does, but Marvel gets a lot of the flack for it.
Mm-hmm. That is
so.
True.
Hello.
Sharon?
I'm here.
Oh, okay.
The sound just dropped out for a second. Okay, sorry. Back to the show.
Oh, can I say just one thing about the show real fast? Can we give Henderson the "it took you long and damn enough to figure that out" award?
Okay, so here's the thing. I actually don't think we give him that award. I think we go to the show and ask, why is Henderson putting 2 and 2 together all of a sudden? That happened way too fast. Like, especially because we don't see him on the show or in the episode until the scene where he's put all these things together. Mm-hmm. Which is weird. Usually shows will give you like a scene where like the character is kind of putting it together in their head, or you see like some moment of recognition. Yeah. But the first scene we see him in, he's like, "I know who you are." And we're like, "Wait, but we just came back. I don't remember you knowing this before we left. How?"
Or having a problem with it.
Yeah, exactly. So
that was the other thing that threw me off. Why are you so pissed that this person who's just your neighbor, it's not like you are BFFs?
Oh, no, they are. They very much positioned them as BFFs.
I don't think they've done a very good job of depicting it, but I agree with Shannon.
Yeah, no, I think they very like that dinner and the way, I don't know, the way he always interacted with Jefferson was always like, "Oh, you and Lynn gonna get back together? Oh, you they definitely positioned it like they were friends.
It's no more neighborly than besties. Like, I'm going to disclose my deepest, darkest secret kind of besties.
I guess. But then who would Jefferson's friends be? He's literally Jefferson's only friend that we know except for 2-Bit. But it was just weird that I felt we didn't get a setup scene to the Henderson figured it out.
No, it was weird.
I assume they're probably going to do some sort of flashback later on to where he's figuring it out, but
there's no need for that. I will say this, that was the drawback with how they chose to end last season, though. Because they ended it on this is a series finale kind of end, and now you're jumping back in like you didn't film that happily ever after sequence.
Mm-hmm.
I, honestly, if I'm honest, had they not filmed that happily ever after sequence, I might have could have bought it, because all these events seem to be taking place very shortly after the incident.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I feel you. It feels very like, or it could have been a time jump. It felt like they didn't do a time jump, but it feels like a lot happened in the time that we were away.
What's that noise?
I'm not sure. There's like a crashing in the background,
and then there's like a squeegeeing.
Oh no,
that's what, and it's definitely not on my end.
Sorry.
I don't think it's on my end.
That was me. I picked something up. Sorry.
Okay.
And it like scraped.
Yeah. So, I mean, when he was having that conversation in the bed, and he said, well, he's a smart guy. That, I mean, y'all could have seen me with a red cup. Just. Well, he's a smart guy. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like it feels like they needed to have Henderson figure it out right now so that they can have some other stuff happen later in the season.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But there was nothing that happened last season that told me that Henderson should have figured it out by now. Because also this is a common trope, right? Like, that there is a superhero with a cop friend who doesn't know their secret identity but knows who they are in real life. And so usually there is a moment. So it just felt like they jumped over the moment, which I guess is fine. You don't have to follow that formulaic thing, but they also gave us nothing that led us there. So it just felt weird.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Anissa, save the something for last. So
Bam.
I don't know when I stopped not really loving Anissa the way I loved her in the beginning, but I don't anymore. I'm sorry. I love her conviction. I love that she cares strongly and passionately about things. I just feel like she always goes about it the wrong way. So there are all these families who are trying to deal with the like police brutality and then also these kids in the pods, and the government doesn't want to give them their kids back. And in order to hire a legal team to fight, they're going to need to raise $500,000, which, by the way, is crazy because any law firm worth their salt is actually going to take this case on pro bono because it's a high profile case. But whatever.
Right.
And black folks, so would they really though?
No, it's a super high. You're taking on the government.
Right.
You know, it's your like Annalise Keating moment. You're like taking on the government. Or they at least would take it on like at cost or whatever, you know, like. So anyway, they have to raise $500,000. Jefferson is like, well, we've helped as much as we can because we expose the experiment, you know? And then Anissa decides that she's going to go all daredevil and show up with like a hoodie and a mask on and turn into Robin Hood and fight the bad guys and steal their money and give it to these families.
Oh my God.
It was a lot.
It was as ridiculous as it sounds.
And it also seemed like her powers were being displayed sort of differently than in the past. Because it seemed like she had to, remember, like in season 1, she had to take a breath before she could, like, you know, do her, you know, density manipulation thing. She's not getting hit with the bullets. But now
No, she did it here.
Did she?
Okay, maybe I just missed it. I must have just missed it because it didn't seem like she did it constantly during the fight. But okay, I must have missed it.
No, you caught that right. She wasn't consistent with it, but she did do it. And it was supposed to be some dramatic moment where you hear it and you're watching this empty hallway and you see the bad guy come flying. She did it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I do remember the one time, but I was like, okay.
Because before it used to be every time. Like every time she did it, it'd be like, like,
girl, are you having an asthma attack? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think that's the reason why I would have gotten tiring.
I think the thing that annoyed me the most of all of it, though, was how she gave them the money.
So fucking rude.
It was rude. It was weird. Like, I'm going to walk in, and because I walked in with a bag full of money, even though I have a friggin' like a hoodie and a mask on my face, everyone's going to Here's the thing about Anissa, and I think in this moment I figured out what annoys me about it, is that I do genuinely think she wants to help people, but I do also think that she wants the accolades for helping people.
She really did drop it like you're welcome. Like you didn't just walk into a church full of people in a supposedly crime-stricken neighborhood with bank robber number 1 mask all on your face. Like this wasn't going to cause some panic.
Exactly.
What? Who does that?
A lot of people strapped in that church.
True.
In the middle of Christmas.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Is like I feel like Anissa wants to be Thunder. You know, she wants to be the superhero. Even when she was leading protests on campus.
I'm sorry, I just laughed so loud because I suddenly thought she wants to be Sean King.
Yeah, no, she does. She wants to be Sean King. That's what she wants. Like she can't. She's not doing it because. I think she genuinely believes in it and cares about people, but I think she also wants what comes with being a superhero. She wants to be idolized and she wants people to thank her. And so I think that's what dims it for me. And I don't know if that's something that's inherent to her character or if it's how it's being played or being written. That's what I can't tell.
Hopefully they'll address it. I'm hoping they'll address it.
Yeah, because she's just like, I don't know. Even when she was being an activist at school, it did feel very much so like, I'm going to lead this movement. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, doing the right thing for the wrong reasons.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And she's like angry at Jennifer for not wanting it. And it's like, but maybe not everybody wants the spotlight.
So is this show, at least, or the writers have some weird thing against, I guess the best way to SJW pit types?
No, I think I don't think it's like saying that she's a social justice warrior and that's wrong, or they're trying to make a statement about social justice warriors. I think they haven't. That's what I'm saying. I can't tell if it's the writing, how she's playing it, or if this is supposed to be part of her character. I can't tell. I think they're still finding these characters in some ways, and that makes them inconsistent. And so with the inconsistencies, I can't tell if it's things that are deliberate or things that they just haven't figured out well enough.
Okay.
Because the show relies heavily on messaging. I don't think they have any problem with social justice messages. Yeah, like I just don't think they would be making a statement like speaking up for social justice is wrong.
And I think, they had the same problem with Lynn last season. Lynn was the most inconsistent character on the show. Mm-hmm. And so it does just seem like it's a pattern in the writing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. it's still stuff. It's stuff that will be interesting to see how it goes as the season goes on. Is there anything else? I mean, the Tobias stuff, it was just weird. We didn't get much of him. Again, they show him opening the box, but we still don't know what's in the box or in the briefcase.
What's in the box?
I know what's in the box. And then it ends with him harpooning the teacher because he's upset about what happened to Sinai. By the way, rest in peace, Sinai. I really like that character. And
are we sure she's gone?
Yeah, this is comic books. I haven't seen her put in the ground.
The reason why I think she's gone is because of how he reacted, because of how he said, like, she was the only last thing I cared about.
Okay.
So that's why I think she is really gone.
That's
okay. So if Foudy has all this knowledge about all the players, I guess, involved in all this, she thought a good idea was just to walk into Tobias's office, threaten him with a gun, and he'd give up the briefcase. She actually thought that was going to work because I don't know. I guess I just thought you had to have a better plan than that to get that briefcase, didn't you? But I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
People are stupid every day.
Panicking, honestly. I don't think she was thinking all that clearly. She just had to get out. Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure that she walked in there with the most well thought out plan, which is why things went the way they did.
Yeah. People are every day.
I'm just going to say it was an excuse for the writers to have Tobias Well harpoon a person, and I'm fine with that. I'm sorry.
Okay, there's a comment about that in the feedback, so we are not going to get into that quite yet.
What?
There's a comment about that in the feedback, so I wanted to talk about it later. We're gonna get
Tobias, my dude. I'm sorry. I just like whenever he shows up, I'm going for the lowest common denominator because I like him being an asshole.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Are you ready to bring the feedback?
Yeah.
Okay, Moji.
Were we going to? I'm sorry to cut y'all off, but were we going to talk about Robert Townsend's little lecture there?
Oh, the fact that you used the N-word too.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, we're doing that on the CW this season.
I was late to watching the episode. Like I didn't watch it the night it came on. But I did see comments on Twitter just being like, "Oh, we can use nigga on the CW now."
Yeah, bro. I'm like, people were celebrating like they just said the gas was dropping to 99 cents a gallon again. I'm like, calm the fuck down, people.
I'll admit I had to rewind it, man. I was a little bit shocked that it was It was on the CW at 9:00?
It's all fun and games until the wrong character uses the word nigga.
There it is.
It said not just house nigga, but HNIC. We doing this? Prime time on the CW? This is happening?
Just saying. It's all fun and games.
Okay.
It's all fun and games.
These the rules, I guess.
I like the Robert Townsend Jefferson scene. Sometimes it does feel a little extra. It's like trying extra hard to be extra black. I'm like, do black men really talk to each other like this? But maybe they do. I don't know. I'm not a black man. So, but I liked it. I just liked it also because like, you said earlier, Doctor, I was super happy to see Robert Townsend acting again. I love watching him act.
Yeah, He has been missed. So into the feedback we go. Moji, hey boo. Man, I cannot believe this show is back and on 10. I was kind of like, okay, let's see where this go. And then they go bigger and better. And best of all, we didn't see Khalil's ass. Yes. Preach that word. Sorry.
But isn't Jordan, he's a season regular this year.
I don't care. He can be a season regular that recurs very rarely. Loved it. Can't wait to hear your thoughts. Jason loved it. Amani, hey boo. They heard the laughs about that ninja and said, we'll just let Meteor Man say the N-word this year. This episode was so damn good. That visual of Jeff taking away all of Jen's stress and trauma and the power of a daddy hug got me, y'all. It was a beautiful moment.
That was a beautiful moment.
That was a beautiful moment.
Yeah. So I wrote this tweet the other day about this. I was like, you can tell this is fiction because there's a caring father on this show.
Damn.
That's cold.
Damn.
Come on, that's cold.
Come on now.
Time out. Time out for you.
No, I love their relationship. I do. I really Jefferson and Jennifer in particular.
Sharad B said, this show came out swinging. We got N-bombs, Tobias harpooning people, dude coming back to life, and Jen's powers out of control. Anissa robbing these houses on Robin Hood-ish. I hope this season is under 20 episodes because that is all you need. Agreed. Can't wait for episode 2. Donald says, who has better harpoon skills, Scorpion or Tobias?
Okay. So I'm like legit asking who has better harpoon skills, Scorpion or Tobias?
I'm going to say Scorpion. Sorry. Because he harpoons you and then pulls you in and then kicks your ass. So it's got to be Scorpion.
Okay. Parrish, what do you think? What's your answer to the question?
Then he talks shit while he does it.
Oh, okay. D.
Oh, about Scorpion. I'm going Scorpion just so I can say, come over here.
Exactly.
With uppercut.
Okay. I feel like it's Tobias. I feel like it's Tobias. I feel like I have to press too many buttons to get Scorpion to do it right. But Tobias is 2 out of 2. He's 2 out of 2 hit. I'm just saying. He has a higher record as far as we've seen.
Look, all I'm saying is that if Tobias had dropped some really, really good bars while he did it, then it'd be a competition. Otherwise, it's Scorpion.
Agreed. Nafisa says, amazing episode. I didn't even know I was missing Robert Townsend until I saw him and thought, nights like this, I wish that raindrops would fall. Sorry. And I got a little teary-eyed. I'm so glad he's back on my screen. I'm loving what they are doing with Jen. Am I the only one that thought she's like an angel or something because her powers are beautiful? Mm-hmm. They really were.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought that was a cool scene.
Yeah. So much happened in this episode, and there was a lot of women kicking ass. Great start to the season. I hope they can keep this momentum. Larry says, I keep waiting for Bill Duke's character to tell Lynn now you done fucked up, right? We were all waiting for it. And finally, Chase says, Foudy with the...
The bitch you made me get my hair wet line.
Yes. That was kind of funny.
That went all the way over my head. What am I missing?
During the fight with Cyanide, at the end of the fight with Cyanide, she walks over and she goes, bitch, you made me get my hair wet.
Oh, I think I just kind of blanked that out.
Yeah, you blanked that out because it was cheesy. It was cheesy. It was really cheesy. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Angela arrived with a history lesson on the news. Wonderful music. There's so much love about this show. I enjoyed the non-comic booky parts just as much as all the action. Love the topic of therapy being discussed by Lynn. That is a topic me and my wife discuss often. Man, I love this show.
Yeah.
And that's it.
I'm really excited for the therapist to get introduced, not just because it's Erica Alexander, but because we talk about it on all of these shows, how badly these characters need therapy. So I can't wait to see it get introduced on this show.
And superheroes in general.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wonder how they're going to use therapy in this show. Because I guess one of the things that behind Jefferson's reluctance is he doesn't want everyone to know that he and his daughters have powers. So I'm assuming that's going to have to be revealed to the therapist somehow, some way.
Okay. Do people want spoilers or do they not want spoilers?
No spoilers.
No spoilers. Okay. I don't know anything about the comics or how the show is going to go. So I'm just off the top of the dome.
All right. So no spoilers. I'm just going to say I know. So.
If they are going to follow comics, I've heard of that there are therapists that specialize in people with powers. one of my favorite comic books. I think one of the best single issue comic books ever written. And I say this all the time, is X Factor number 87, where X Factor goes to Doc Samson for therapy. So I mean, there's a way to do it that I mean, comic books are pretty consistent about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Any predictions or things we want to see coming up in the season?
No, Khalil, but I know that's a long shot.
Let that little boy get his coins.
He can get his coins just somewhere else. No, it's not the actor that I have an issue with. It's literally the way they wrote his character that I'm struggling with, but whatever. I don't have any predictions. I'm just along for the ride, so I'll let the others go.
Yeah, I really haven't gone that far. I just enjoyed the episode. We'll just see where it goes.
Yeah, I just hope that the writing stays at a consistent level this season. That's really all I'm hoping for. I hope we're not, starting high and then going low and then finishing high, and I at least stay consistent or something. So I don't really have any predictions or anything I'd like to see. I just keep a decent storyline throughout the season, and I'll be good.
For me, I think it's not like a prediction, but I have a hope. I don't want to see Jennifer in a super suit of any kind until, if it happens, I don't want it to happen until the very end of the season.
Agreed. I can agree with that.
That's it. I think she's far more interesting outside of the suit.
Yeah, they don't have a handle on her powers yet, so I don't think that's going to happen until at least the characters figure out what they are. So,
well, I think the other part of it is she's so against being a superhero that, I mean, they have to kind of gradually make her change her mind. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's something you can do right away.
Yeah, also, I mean, but this is also the show that decided that Henderson needed to find out right now. And we're just not going to do any lead up to it.
Yeah, this is true.
So there's that. Thank you guys so much for listening, for leaving feedback. I'm really excited to have Black Lightning back on my screen. Coming up, we have Supergirl, which comes on tonight, and then we'll probably be recording that on Mondays. This will probably be recorded on the weekends, on Sundays, at least for the next couple of weeks. We'll see if that changes, depending on people's schedules. And anything else that you guys... I know you're back with Doctor Who, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that's back.
And what we're doing that periodically. We're not doing week by week because I'm just too busy. We're doing like blocks of episodes. So we'll be recording on episodes 2 through 4 in a few weeks.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
And same with The Gifted. We just recorded for the first 3 episodes, and in the next few weeks, then we'll do the next 3. So there's a lot. We're back. It's back. Full TV swing. We're back again. So we will be talking to you guys every week, and also doing all of our other regularly scheduled stuff. Check out the MTR Network website, because I know we're doing a lot more written reviews. There's the comic book reviews. And we just actually added another writer, Rose. She's going to be covering a lot of books and things for us. So, yeah, a lot happening, and we appreciate you guys' support. Talk to you later.